Welcome back to another episode of the Breadwinner Energy Podcast. Hello, friends. I feel like every time I come here, I'm like, oh my God, I have so much to share. I have so many updates for you guys because things in my world move rather quickly, if that. So, what I want to do today is two things. I'm first going to tell you all about my expansion room mastermind, and I'm really excited for this. If you're listening in real time, then you're going to be able to access all of the bonuses that are coming. If you're not listening to this in real time, then you can still join this space. It just won't have all the juicy extras and bonuses we're going to talk about today. And then what I'm going to do is share with you a training that I gave my students on embodiment based sales. I created a course on my 7 ways of selling in an embodied way. It's 7 steps for selling. We don't do ads. It's not chasing trends. It's not DMing 700 times and commenting all the posts. It's how are you showing up in your business? How are you showing up to sell, create content, and ways to do it better as an embodiment based leader. This is how I have sold thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of coaching. And I'm going to give you my exact method on exactly how to do that. So you're going to get that replay. If you're like, oh my God, this was so good, I want to learn all the methods, then you can grab the course inside my free community for $88. Or if you're a student in my academy or my mastermind, you actually get this completely free as well as obviously all my other trainings and courses. So before we get into all of that today, though, I want to talk to you about my expansion room. My expansion room is my business mastermind. I am doubling the price on Sunday. This episode is dropping Thursday. The price doubles on Sunday. And that means you can get into this program, this mastermind, for an entire year for only 5555 for the entire year, or 12 payments of 555. You also get my Breadwinner Energy Academy for 12 months included, completely free. This is a $2,000 program you get completely free. And the Unfuckably Feminine 6-week live intensive that I'm doing with my business partner, Allison, you also get completely free in this mastermind. Now, I want to tell you about this business mastermind because after I burnt down my business last year and I recreated my rebirth and then my business, I really took every single thing I learned, every single personal life lesson I learned, business lesson I've learned, um, and I created this mastermind from this space. So what we're doing in this mastermind is I'm helping you build your own business DNA and become an embodiment based leader. So you're going to build your business your way, your personality, your design, the season of life you're in, like literally truly what works for you, and being a walking embodiment of what works for you, for marketing, for sales, for content, for business structure, offers, and you are going to be your own niche. This is a completely different way than I've literally ever seen business taught. And the reason I created this was because for me, as a mom of 2 kids, both of them at home, and also as a woman dealing with chronic illness, chronic pain, and also being someone who's autistic ADHD and diagnosed with CPTSD, I needed a business that worked for me. And so after courses and group coaching programs and masterminds I had been in, I was learning strategies and I was learning different ways that different people were doing business. And some of them were like, okay, cool. I kind of like this way, I kind of like that way. But none of them worked specifically for me. And they were always needing to be tailored. And then I would have questions. And they were like, well, that's not part of our method. And we don't teach that. And then you needed another coach and another coach and another coach. And so when I burnt my business down, I said, okay, I'm going to take this time to do my very own inner work, my own shadow work, my own embodiment work of truly understanding myself, what I want, what I need, what makes me me, what my gifts are, what my magic is, and what truly is going to be not only fulfilling for me, but like a walking embodiment of just who I am, so that it doesn't always feel hard to do business. It doesn't always feel hard to decide, okay, what am I going to post today? And what should I be doing today? And how am I going to sell? And what am I going to focus on? And I had so many questions and creep come in that I had never had before, simply by outsourcing my power to what everyone else said to do. And it literally just did not work for me. So what I did was I burned down my business. I went through this rebirth process that I teach inside my Breadwinner Energy Academy of truly going through my own shadow work and rebirthing myself, the version of me that had the life and business I wanted. And what I did was mapped out, what do I want? What are my beliefs around it? Why do I think I can or can't have it? What is standing? What shadows are standing between me and actually having it? And what would my business look like if I did it in this way? If I let go of all these rules, if I let go of all these expectations of what business should look like, how would it look for me? And so I came up with two offers. The first offer being Breadwinner Energy Academy, because I know that shadow work and embodiment is non negotiable. It's not mindset work that's non negotiable, it's shadow work that's non negotiable because my inner shadow, my inner child was running the show. My wounded self was running the show all the time at all cost. And so I needed to do the shadow work that was going to create the business I wanted, not the business from the version of me that would self sabotage or it was rejection sensitive. And so I did that. And then I did embodiment work. Embodiment work is how you're actually showing up. So instead of just learning self development, we actually walk you through practicing self development with us so that you're changing in real time. After you've done that, we move into being a sovereign CEO and growing an embodiment based business. So that room, my expansion room, my next level container is the permission slip to do business your way. And we walk you through that. We give you the process to how to build your own business DNA, how to create what works for you. So you have a couple days to join that expansion room mastermind. It's 2 calls a month, 90-minute calls live with me in the community. You're also going to, for the next 90 days, do a live business DNA project together. We're going to do it as a group project, but you're going to get one-to-one roadmap and feedback from me. Your portal of trainings, your community, and one-to-one feedback throughout this container. You also get 12 months of academy included to do that shadow work, and you also get this 6-week intensive with me and my business partner. If you have any questions, reach out to me on Instagram at it's Tay Daniels _LLC, and let's get into today's call, today's podcast training, whatever, replay of embodiment-based selling, business, and nervous system safe sales. Okay, now let's talk about nervous system safety with selling. Now, this could honestly go both ways, right? Because in order for you to feel really good about sales or to continue on doing sales all the time, your nervous system first needs to be regulated, but then you need to be able to create nervous system safe spaces for other people. And in order to create a safe space and sell from a really clean space, you first need to be regulated. If you have not yet worked on this, meaning that you're still in this very highly anxious place when selling, you're still in fear. And sometimes we think to ourselves, no, I'm really coming from a clean place. And maybe you are because you have good intentions, right? Like at the end of the day, I truly believe that every single person in my space has good intentions. What does that mean? That means that you care about other people, you want to change people's lives, and you also want to make a lot of money. And there's nothing wrong with wanting a lot of money while also changing lives. However, if you have not done your inner work, if you have not done your shadow work around fear, around money, around lack, around receiving, sometimes this can sneak into the way that you show up. It can sneak into the way you sell. It can sneak into the way that you market yourself. And if we do not clean this up, then you're not going to be selling from a place that feels good. And also, it can sometimes be on the other end where the other person's not totally feeling safe to receive. So if you're thinking about in this moment, okay, I know for a fact that I have fear around selling. I have this weird energy around feeling icky, so I don't sell. Or when I do sell, it feels really bad. Or I go in spurts of like being really like doing selling from a really well place and then not a well place. Or I'm willing to sign any client to make money. You need to be in Breadwinner Energy Academy because this is where we do the shadow work around this and create nervous system safety in your own self for your own life and your own business. Because I know for a fact this was me so many different times where
I was not coming from like a bad place of like, oh, I'm willing to do anything to make a sale, but I truly believed like, oh, I can help anyone, so I'm willing to help anyone, and I'm willing to like, sell to anyone. Or I also got into these places where I'm like, God, I'm really tired of like doing this, like chasing, that I had to do a lot of my own inner work on this for sales. So I'm going to give you guys an example. I had someone DM me recently and tell me something very personal about their life. And this was something that they believe to be true is happening to them, and that they have no control or power over this situation, essentially, in their mind. Something has taken over them and they have no control on that situation. And she was like, I understand that you're a shadow worker, and so you probably think that this is like a shadow, but this is like not my shadow. And like, she's very certain in what that is. Here's the thing. A past version of me might have, because that is like my specialty, been like, no, this is probably a shadow, right? Instead, my nervous system safe self says, I don't actually know. I don't know if this is someone else's shadow or not. The only thing that I can do is believe whatever someone else is telling me, because that is their truth. And it is not my job to convince somebody else to believe what I believe in order to change their life. So, what this looks like in practice is for me to say, look, I hear you. I totally hear what you're saying. And if this is your truth and what you're experiencing, first and foremost, I'm so sorry to hear that. And I want you to get the help that you need, but I'm not the person that can help you. While I am a shadow worker and I can help you with shadow work, this does not seem like that. And so therefore I would like to refer you to someone else that can help you instead. My past self might have been like, this could be her shadow and I could help her and this could like make impact and change her life. But the truth about this situation is that wouldn't technically be consensual. And I want you to think of it this way. I have been through chronic pain and illness, mystery illness for years. And what I have learned is that every doctor, every specialty that you go to, what are they going to do is they're going to look at you from a lens of their specialty. So I went to a pelvic floor specialist. They're like, oh, it's your pelvic floor. I went to a urologist. They're like, oh, it's your bladder. I went to a chiropractor. They're like, oh, it's your nervous system. While all of those things could be true, they're looking at you from the lens of their own specialty. And a lot of people sell from the lens of their own specialty. And that is not consensual sales. Consensual sales is, I don't actually know more than you know about yourself. I don't know you better than you know you. Therefore, until you've made the decision that this is what you need and come to me, I cannot help you. You have to decide for you first that I can help you because you believe that shadow work is your issue. Or if you're like looking at my mastermind, you're like, I really want to build an embodiment based business. You don't want to be convinced of that. You know you want to do it. And so you're like coming to me and I'm like, amazing. Now, from this point on, I can help you overcome whatever objections are coming to your brain. Because just because you decide something doesn't mean you're not going to have objections towards that, right? There's a lot of things that I want for my life and business and still have objections to that thing of like, well, I'm not sure if it can work for me, or I'm not sure how that can look for me. The same goes for you. So when you're doing sales, I want to tell you that in order to come to a place of consensual sales that feel really good for other people, you first need to do this work on yourself. You need to create this space for you that you're not just out looking for the sale, more than you're out to say, here's what I do, here's what I'm good at, and here's who I can help and how I can help them when they've decided that this is what they need. How will they decide that? Because you're informing them through your content. You're telling them who you are. You're a walking embodiment of the things you're teaching. So when I'm a walking embodiment of my own work, and I created the very first video out of the gate, what I said to you was, I don't feel the need to always be on camera. I don't feel the need to always be makeup and hair ready. I prioritize more than that is creating quality content, putting it out there, creating quality courses, putting it out there, and also prioritizing being a full-time mom. I'm not going to choose between being a full-time mom and being hair and makeup ready to be on camera to produce the same thing when you could listen to this like a podcast and get the exact same results, right? So, with that being said, what I'm going to do is create a business for me that works for me without these like restrictions of what other people have said it needs to look like. When I tell you that, because that's a walking embodiment of my own life, what's going to happen is there's going to be a bunch of you that say, oh my God, I want to do that too. I want my business to be that way. I want permission to do that. I want my life to look like that. I am that, and I'm choosing between these things, and it's not working for me, and I want to do that for myself. So, what are you going to do? You're going to be like, oh my God, I'm interested in how you run your business because I want to do that too. You're going to come to me and say, I'm interested in running my business this way, but insert whatever, right? Insert objection, insert whatever your brain is telling you why you can't have it, why it can't work for you. Even though I'm proving to it can, that's what's going to happen. So, my job from that point on is to help you make a really sound decision. So, when you come to me and ask me questions, I'm not going to just say, here's what I do, here's the lens, I know I can change your life, let me sell to you. No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, you've already consented to saying this is what you want and this is what I do. Now, my job is to help you make a good decision for yourself. A good decision for yourself could be no, could be not joining my container. A good decision for yourself could also be yes. What I'm going to do is support you in that decision. You have questions, I have answers. You want me to walk you through a process of how I make decisions? I'm so happy to do that. I'm not, though, going to drag you and convince you and want it for you more than you want it for you. Because if so, that's going to create a very unhealthy, codependent relationship where I am dragging you through this work that you are resistant to, and then you're not going to be your best self. I'm not going to be my best self. We're not going to get the best results together. In order for you to get your best results and for me to do my best work as a coach, I absolutely have to know that you want this just as much as I want this for you. And trust me, I want it for you so bad. So I need you to meet me there with that energy. Will you always be in full belief of that? No. And so what I like to do with my clients is something called belief borrowing. And we're going to get into that here in a minute in the next training. But really, what this is I believe in you and I know that this can work for you based on a conversation. Therefore, I'm going to instill the beliefs that I have in me and the beliefs that I have in my program and the beliefs that I have in you so that you can borrow that until you are able to actually embody it yourself. Because if every single person fully 100% embodied that they believed they could do anything, I'm not exactly sure that people would need coaching. That's just not realistic. So, therefore, I'm going to allow you to borrow these beliefs so that you can create a really sound habit of believing in yourself. And when you do that, and when you borrow my beliefs, you then become confident and convicted in yourself and your own work. So, it is very important that you go through this module and take this module very seriously when coming to sales because it will be part of the reason that sales feel really bad or really good for you.